three-pointer. Bang! Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Pack the bags, start the plane. This game is over.
Hey y'all, we're back with another podcast. Couldn't put one out this week, but we're going to get one out this week. Home for the holidays, couldn't get one out, but guess what? We got another one right now. So we're going to go over Week 12 recap here. Then we're going to look at power rankings, teams on the rise, season on the decline, some NFL news. We got lots of good NFL news this week. Hopefully put out some more videos this week on specifically that NFL news. And obviously we got predictions and the best matchups for next week for this Sunday. And that's what we're going to get into right now. First, we had Texans-Lions. We obviously had the Thanksgiving games this year. The Ravens-Steelers got postponed until yesterday on Wednesday. Those games were awful. First we'll start with the Texans-Lions. Obviously, the Texans just passed all over Detroit in this game. The Detroit defense looked awful. They turned the ball over. The Lions turned the ball over 3 times just in the first quarter. It was a tough day for Lions fans and, Lions players, of course. But it's not a Thanksgiving. It's not a good Thanksgiving, unless the Lions lose. Come on, this is Lions tradition. This is Thanksgiving tradition in America now. The Lions have to lose to be a good Thanksgiving. That's what happened. Honestly, the Jets probably could have beat the Lions on Thanksgiving. It was really, really bad. Deshaun Watson really didn't have to throw too many passes, to rip them apart. Obviously, he was throwing those passes to people on PEDs, but that is another conversation. That game ended 41-25. Texans win, dropped a 40 burger on the Lions. I think that even though the Lions lost, Lions fans are hopeful that, Patricia's now gone. Quinn, the GM, is gone. So, things are looking up, I guess, because you can't get much worse. Now we got Washington versus the Cowboys, an NFC East game that was trying to decide who would basically be in the run for playoffs. Who's going to compete? And Washington blew the Cowboys out of the water. The Cowboys couldn't stop the run game. Antonio Gibson went off. The Cowboys couldn't run the ball either. Zeke didn't do anything. Or Pollard, honestly. And it was just another huge day for Gibson and McLaurin. These two keys, basically. These are the two guys that are going to have to lead this Washington team on offense because the quarterback play is inconsistent. They need Antonio Gibson and they need McLaurin to play really, really well. That's what they're going to need. So then we got, after that, obviously, both teams put up 40 on Thanksgiving. The Washington and Texans put up 40, not even close. The games weren't even close to good. Both blowouts. It was a brutal day for the NFL and for football, but hopefully y'all got some good Thanksgiving food. 41-16, Washington. Next, we had another bad game. We had Raiders-Falcons. This is just an embarrassment for the Raiders because this is a team that people are like, oh, Derek Carr. Even me, I was like, I'm starting to turn the corner on Derek Carr. Maybe this is the guy. Maybe, this Raiders team could actually make a playoff push and be really good in the playoffs. We saw the Raiders completely fall apart. 5 turnovers, and with 4 of them being fumbles for the Raiders. And the Falcons did what a good team does, and they took advantage of those turnovers. They scored on a lot of them. And, there's not much to say other than John Gruden and the Raiders just completely flopped. Absolutely flopped. They brought in Nathan Peterman, guys. Nathan Peterman. They brought him in and thought, hey, this is the guy that can help us out right now. If you're looking at Nathan Peterman to help you out, your football team's in a bad spot. And that's really all I got to say about that. 43-6, Falcons win that one. Great win for the Falcons, though. Chargers, Bills. Okay, this is a little bit closer than I thought it would be. Obviously the defense has been the thing with the Chargers where they were supposed to be a lot better going into this year. The defense was supposed to be a lot better than it is. It's not. So the run defense wasn't there at all. And the thing is, on the other side of the ball, they cannot run the ball for jacked anything, okay? They can't run the ball. Eckler's back, but he still can't do anything. They're making Herbert, the rookie, drop back 52 times. He dropped back 52 times against the Bills. Obviously, he threw for 300 yards. Great. That's all good. But he has to drop back 52 times. You're making it to where he has a way more likelihood of getting hurt, okay? And they're putting so much trust in this passing offense to Herbert. Obviously, we've seen him shine. I think that he's going to be really good. A lot of people doubted him after the draft, even me, but I think that he's turned out to be pretty good this year. And the thing is, everyone that plays the Chargers knows that Herbert is going to pass, like almost every down. They barely run the ball. Obviously, it was closer than expected. The Bills didn't play the best game, but they did enough. Their defense held strong against Herbert, which was good. 27-17, Bills won that one. Oh, next we had Giants, Bengals. Bengals without Joe Burrow, I mean, it's just one of the worst teams in the league. They're probably third worst, I guess. I mean, they're probably ahead of the Jags and the Jets, but that's it. The biggest storyline in this game is Daniel Jones getting hurt. I believe it's a strained hamstring. So we'll see how he goes, but they think he's not going to play next week. He hasn't been practicing, so it'll be very interesting to see if the Texas boy, Colt McCoy, can get under center and get a win. That'll be very, very interesting. The Bengals in this game literally only had 155 yards. I mean, they can't move the ball. They can't stop. I mean, they actually did a decent job of stopping, but the fact they even had 17 points off 155 yards total is impressive. But it's just a rough day for the Bengals, who are they're looking to get another draft pick. Okay, let's be honest. The Bengals get another top 3 draft pick. Give them a year or two, they could be a good team. You get Joe Burrow back, he gets healthy. If he plays the same way he has been playing, they get some O-linemen around him. I mean, I think they just stack O-line and defense in this draft, honestly. I mean, the wide receivers have looked good. And you can trust Joe Mixon. So I would say definitely defense, O-line, Bengals team could be a little bit better in the future. But obviously, biggest thing, Giants are ahead in the NFC East. Tied with Washington, but they have the tiebreaker. Giants are looking good, but without Danny Dimes, it'll be interesting. Next, we had Titans versus Colts. This is a surprising blowout for me. A lot of blowouts early in the week, last week. But it's very surprising for me because the Colts defense is usually a lot better than that. They gave up 35 points in the first half. I mean, 178 yards and 3 touchdowns to the Derrick Henry. And he was just going off, okay? And when you go down by 35, or not down by 35, I think it was 35-14 in the first half. When you give up 35 points in the first half, Phillip Rivers cannot get you back into that game. No matter what he does, he will not get you back in that game. I promise you that. I would bet my whole life savings on that. The Colts offense does not have enough firepower to come back from that. This game was essentially over. And the Colts have to play better defense to win games. We know that their offense isn't the most electric, okay? But they're going to have to keep people to under 30 points in the first half. Probably at least under 21 points in the first half if they want to win games. Because the Colts do not have that firepower of an offense. And that game ended 45-26 Titans. It was a big win for the Titans. Tannehill didn't have to do a lot. Relied on Derrick Henry. Let him run. They couldn't stop it all day. Solid win for the Titans here. And they're actually definitely trending upwards in the win column, which is great for them. Browns, Jaguars. I mean, this game, it's like people still believe in this Browns team. Yes, they won. They won by 2 to a team that has 1 win. I mean, come on. This is a Browns team that is, 7-3 or 8-3 now? Yeah. They beat a 1-win team by 2. Woo! Come on. Cleveland is not the team their record portrays. Nick Chubb is going to have to go to the chiropractor because of how much he has to carry this team to the promised land, okay? Baker is barely outdueling Mike Glennon on the other side of the ball. Picture that, okay? And the thing is the Jags actually played a decent game in that they didn't turn the ball over, which has been a real struggle for them. But they couldn't handle the Browns' offense. I mean, the Browns have lots of weapons on offense that they're use to take down bad teams. But when they play good teams, they're going to lose. They've beaten one team over 500. That was the Colts in the early bit of the season. They've played 2 or 3 other teams that are over 500, and they've lost all of them. I believe their 3 losses comes from over 500 teams. And then 7 of their 8 wins come from under 500 teams. Yeah, the Browns are good at beating up small teams, bad teams. Cool. It doesn't do anything for the playoffs. Honestly, I sound like a big Browns hater, but goddamn, they are not good. I'm telling you, they're not good. 27-25 Browns. Panthers, Vikings. This was a really good one to watch. Kirk Cousins actually had a fantastic day. It was great to watch him sling that ball around. Because Justin Jefferson, watching him throw to Justin Jefferson is awesome. I mean, he is the best wide receiver on that team. A great wide receiver for them. Been in the last 5 weeks, just been so good for them. And the Vikings did a good enough job on defense. They did good enough. Okay. Obviously, the Vikings escaped heartbreak this weekend. Joey Sly misses the field goal. I think it was about a 54-yarder. He's definitely got the leg. I mean, we've seen this guy just absolutely kicks, okay? Puts it wide. Panthers lose. I mean, the Panthers have had a little bit of a rough year, okay? A little bit of a rough year, but, Minnesota fumbled 3 times. They fumbled 3 times, and they didn't lose, okay? This Minnesota team is pretty good. And even when they turn the ball over, they can go get points afterwards and keeping the other opposing offense out of the end zone, okay? And Minnesota could definitely be a playoff team. They're going to have to, obviously shape up in a little bit of the things that they're doing. But if they don't turn the ball over as much, this Minnesota team could be scary for the playoffs. Definitely a team that could beat a bigger team. 28-27 Vikings. Next we had Cardinals, Patriots. I mean, the thing is the Patriots barely had any yards this game. I think they had around 200 yards, maybe a little bit less than that of total offense. They played the field position game. Bill Belichick's great at it. The best coaches are about making sure they're getting a good field position, teaching their guys good field position, good field position, good field position. Because this is what happens. You don't have to get 200 yards and you can win games. Obviously, the Cardinals kind of shanked it at the end. Okay, they missed the field goal, about a 45-yarder wide. But you know what? Cam Newton goes on the field and capitalizes. Gets the field goal, gets the win. Cardinals are skidding here a little bit. They've lost now back-to-back weeks to the Seahawks and to the Patriots. Obviously, the Seahawks are a much better team. But the Patriots, they need to go and win that game. They really need to. Kyler's inconsistency, I think, is part of it. Some games we'll see Kyler throw for 400. Couple touchdowns, break a couple ankles, everything, whole 9 yards, and then we'll see him throw 2 or 3 picks. Or we'll see him not be able to just put the ball on target like he usually is. So that's something to watch out for. 20-17 Patriots. I mean, I still don't think the Patriots are going to be able to get back in this AFC, but we'll see. Dolphins, Jets. I mean, there's not much to talk about this. It's the Jets, obviously. I mean, another stat if you like to see. The Dolphins have kept the Jets to 3 points this season. That's pretty impressive in 2 games. No matter what, even if it's the Jets, even if it was the 0-16 Browns, even if it was the 0-16 Lions, okay? Keeping a team to 3 points in 2 games, spectacular, okay? Darnold came back in, threw 2 picks, didn't get anything done, obviously, 3 points. Fitzmagic didn't have to do a lot, pretty comfortable game, pretty much like a scrimmage for him, I'm pretty sure. 2 touchdowns. Dolphins defense shines, made it look easy all day. Dolphins improved to 7-4, 20-3. Dolphins win. Then we had the Saints Broncos. I mean, this game was tragic for the Broncos fans, Broncos organization, because we saw Drew Lock get COVID, and the other quarterbacks around him are not allowed to play because they were in close contact with him. So what do? They take their wide receiver who played quarterback in college. They give him a little sleeve. They said, we got 5 plays on there. Go run them. He goes out there and fails. I mean, so bad. Like, this game was laughable. It was like a comedy. I mean, you just got to feel so bad, though. I mean, imagine just being in practice as a wide receiver. And then coach comes up to you, is like, hey, quarterbacks are out. You're playing quarterback this week against the Saints defense. Have fun. Good luck. And you're scared because you feel like you're going to never see the field again after you play that Saints defense. I mean, goddamn. You can't say anything about the wide receiver. Come on. He had 3 days to become the Denver Broncos quarterback. I mean, come on. Wow. I mean, it took a little for the Saints offense to start going in this game, but once they did, the Broncos couldn't stop them. Broncos couldn't get anything done on offense. They were switching between Phillip Lindsay and Wildcat and the wide receiver. I mean, ugh. Saints defense was playing really well in the last couple weeks, but you can't expect anything from the Broncos in this game. You really can't. But it was very fun to watch. 31-3 Saints. Niners, Rams. This one was a stunner for me. Did not expect the Niners to do that. Niners stunned the Rams with a field goal as time expires. Good old Robbie Gould getting it done. And Goff with 2 interceptions as makes Mullins not look so bad here. Mullins actually played a pretty decent game, for being a backup. Pretty decent. Obviously, it was a sloppy game. Both teams had a lot of turnovers. Not what you like to see. Either coach doesn't like to see that, obviously. But the thing is, San Francisco found a way to stay on the field. I think they had like 35 minutes possession to 25 minutes of Rams possession. So, they controlled the pace play. They made sure they were doing what they needed to do. Rams were just trying to catch up the whole game. And the Rams couldn't move the ball. They really couldn't. The Niners defense played really well. I mean, that's really who you have to give it to. But 23-20 Niners. Oh, then we had Chiefs, Buccaneers. This was an exciting one. Not at the beginning. I mean, obviously a little bit at the beginning because of Tyreek Hill. But at the end, it got a little bit more exciting. But we kind of saw this game as a little bit out of reach. But they're going to have to do a lot. Okay, so Mahomes obviously went off 460 yards, 3 touchdowns, all 3 of them to Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill also had 269 yards. Okay, the guy was going off. Tampa Bay tries to come back from that. It's in the second half. Doesn't really work. They score, they had 5 minutes left, okay? With 5 minutes left, they scored a touchdown. They're only down by 3 points. Chiefs shut them out. They'll let them get the ball back. I mean, that's a classy play. That's why they're one of the best teams in the NFL. And whenever 5 minutes left, you get the ball, and you make sure that other team is not getting the ball back, that's how you know that you're a really good team. And the thing is Tom Brady threw 2 picks, so you can't turn the ball over to Mahomes like that. And that's what happens is they go up big, and then you have to try to come back. It's not going to happen, especially when that Chiefs offense is so good that if you give them the ball with 5 minutes left, you're never going to see it again. 27-24, Chiefs. Then we had Bears, Packers, another 40 burger. How many is 5 40 burgers this weekend? Crazy. And on Thanksgiving, obviously, but Trubisky turnovers. I mean, that's a storyline right there. I mean, they bring Trubisky back to play, turns the ball over again. I mean, come on. The one thing that I liked about the Bears watching this game was David Montgomery played really well. He played really, really well, honestly, for running the ball. But it's also the Packers, and they don't defend the run very well. So who knows what he'll do next week. But, the Bears defense really needs to try and keep Aaron Rodgers maybe under 30 points to have a chance. Yeah, I know it's Aaron Rodgers. It's a tough task. It's probably the toughest task other than Mahomes. I mean, other than Chiefs offense, because Rodgers is the best quarterback. But Mahomes, probably, the toughest task. And they let him score 41. The Bears are never going to score 41 points. They're just not. It could be the Jets. They won't score 41 points, okay? So Aaron Rodgers was so efficient, dialed in, 4 touchdowns. I think he threw 29 passes, 21 for 29. Just dialed in. Good Packers football. The Bears put up garbage time points, but this game was already over. 41-25, Packers. Then we had Seahawks, Eagles, Battle of the Birds. We had, a good, clean game from Russell Wilson, which is what I've talked about before, is that one of the biggest things with Russell is that him turning the ball over really, really screws the Seahawks. When he doesn't, they win games. This is one of them. Obviously, the Eagles are not that great of an opponent. They only beat them by 6. But there's some good things looking for the Seahawks offense. They get Chris Carson back this week. Huge. 5 yards per carry. Great for him. Had a touchdown as well. Great coming back for him because they really needed him in that offense. Metcalf exposed Darius Slay all day. I mean, all day. Metcalf had about 170 yards, I believe. I mean, it was just a field day for him. And the Eagles obviously tried to come back late in the 4th, but couldn't get it done. But in reality, we're looking at this Seahawks offense that is starting to look pretty scary because they've got Chris Carson back. They've obviously got a Russell Wilson that hasn't been turning the ball over. Next week, they not only have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, not next week, sorry, but in week 16 and 17, breaking news, they'll be having Josh Gordon back. Look at that. Look at those 3 wide receivers. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Josh Gordon. You got Chris Carson in the backfield and Russell Wilson at the helm. That is a Super Bowl winning offense. They just need the defense to come and play, and they need Russell to not turn the ball over. They're looking like really, really strong contenders in the NFC. 23-17 Seahawks. Steelers, Ravens. This was played on a Wednesday because Lamar Jackson had COVID. We see RG3 come into the mix. I mean, honestly, watching this game, I really wanted RG3 to just come back and look like he did at Baylor. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him go off. But unfortunately, the injuries are injuries, and he will probably never be the same. But, the game goes on, okay? Terrible football game. Terrible. I mean, turnovers. And this game really shouldn't have been close. The Steelers should have just steamrolled this Ravens team, especially without Lamar. But, I mean, obviously they could blame it on the schedule, saying, hey, because the Steelers have been screwed by the schedule. They didn't get their bye week, really, or they got told they were in their bye week halfway through it, and now they had to wait all week to go play this game that they thought they were going to play 6 days ago, right? So, obviously they're a little bit out of whack. Tomlin was not happy. Tomlin after the game was talking about how his team played like trash, even though they win. That's what good coaches do, though. That's the thing. That's the difference between the coaches in the league, that they see their team win an ugly game. They're like, oh, it's a good win. It's a good win. No, Tomlin says it's a bad win. He understands it's a win in the win column. It goes in that column, but it's not something to be proud of. That's what he said. It's not something to be proud of, right? That is a good coach. That's why Mike Tomlin's been there for so long. Steelers win 19-14. I still think they're the best in the league. I think it's a little bit of a hiccup, but I think they're still the best team in the league. Ooh, so now I want to look at some of the teams on the rise that I think are kind of streaking up. Titans. The Titans look really good after their win against the Colts, in my opinion. I mean, putting up that many points, I think it was 41 on a Colts defense, very, very good. Okay, that is a good Titans offense, and if they're going to be scoring points on defenses like that, it's going to be really hard to stop them. Next, we had Giants and Washington. I put a little Giants/Washington because the Washington football team looked really good. Obviously, they're playing the Cowboys, and the Giants look good against the Bengals. Obviously, these two teams are not even close to good that they played, but one of these two teams is going to win the NFC East, okay? And I kind of want to see Danny Dimes do it, but I kind of want to see Antonio Gibson, McLaurin, and Ron Rivera in the playoffs. So we'll see about that. Then obviously we have the Seahawks. What I just talked about is that their offense is going to be looking good. Give them 2 more weeks. Josh Gordon will be in that thing. Chris Carson will be able to put some more output in. Russell Wilson, obviously DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, barring any injuries that could happen. But that offense looks deadly. Now look at the decline, teams on the decline. First team I put here is the Cardinals. It's 2 losses in a row for them to a team that's not really that good and a good team in the Seahawks. Obviously I wouldn't put them on a decline if it was just the Seahawks and they went and played somebody tough and then lost, but they lost to the Patriots. This is not a team they should be losing to. Kyler should be able to outplay Cam Newton, and he didn't. Next we have the Raiders. I mean, that was an embarrassment. That was one of the worst games I've seen all year. I mean, just from a team that really should have a good shot at winning that game and just self-destruct. Then we had the Ravens. Obviously, they didn't get to choose that Lamar Jackson has COVID, okay? But this team was already a little bit on the decline before that. Let's be honest. So now we can look at some power rankings. I just want to go quickly through because I don't really know how much y'all like this segment because I like it. I like looking at the teams and seeing, where NFL says they should be. I mean, obviously the Jets will be at the bottom, but I like to look and see, where they think or where the NFL analysts, these guys, believe that these teams should be. Because obviously I feel like I have a little bit of a different opinion sometimes, but we'll see. Just let me know if you like this segment. If you don't, whatever, what you guys want to hear. Because I'm here. I want to do what y'all want to hear. I want to do these segments on what y'all want to talk about. Like, this is supposed to be a conversation. I want to go back and forth with y'all, so I want y'all to let me know. If you have anything I want me to talk about or anything, any ideas, right? I got a couple new ideas coming for some videos that I can do other than just podcasts, because I know that this can get a little bit lengthy, and I know not everybody's trying to sit here and watch 30-minute videos. I understand that, okay? This is more for me and to show that I can look at the whole league and have a grasp of the whole league, and then I can go into specific topics. So hopefully soon in the next week, I'll start putting out videos in specific topics for y'all. So let's get back. Power rankings. Number 32, obviously, the New York Jets. Then we had number 31, the Jags. Actually made it a close game against the Browns. Bengals 30, Lions 29. Yep, that was awful. It will be interesting, though, to see this Lions team. Next week they play the Bears. Obviously, the Bears are not a great opponent, but it'll be interesting to see what the offense and defense will look like under Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator. Now that Patricia has packed his bags, now that Bob Quinn has packed his bags, and the Patriots in Michigan are gone, okay? It'll be very interesting to see who is going to be coaching this team next year, because obviously I don't think it should be Darrell Bevell. I mean, the offense has struggled. I mean, we saw the offense against the Panthers not score a point, right? I'm not sure if that is the guy that we really want coaching the team. One interesting thing I want y'all to think about, though, is Jim Harbaugh is going to be gone from Michigan this year. Tell me that isn't just a little walk down the park from Ann Arbor, coming to Detroit. It's possible. Just something to think about. Chicago Bears at 28. Wow, they have done the Bears dirty here. I mean, obviously they're not that good, but they're a 5-win team, putting them at 28. That is crazy. See, that's the thing. They have a 5. Obviously, the Bears have been losing a lot. Okay, they've been losing a lot. We know this. But are the Eagles better than the Bears? Come on. Carson Wentz. I'd rather have Trubisky than Carson Wentz. Not going to lie. I don't know about that. I probably shouldn't have said that. Maybe Foles, but I don't know about Trubisky. We got Cowboys at 26. That's pretty fair. I mean, they're really bad. But the Bears are better than the Cowboys. Come on. I would even... No, the Lions are better than the Cowboys. I feel like they're pretty evenly matched. The Bears are definitely better than the Cowboys, though. Washington football team at number 25. Very, very good win for them. It was good to see them actually not win a game close, but win a game just absolutely murdering the Cowboys. And who doesn't like to see the Cowboys lose on Thanksgiving? Come on. New York Giants at 24. They drop one even though they win, which I think is kind of fair because they didn't have Joe Burrow. Bengals didn't have Joe Burrow, so I think that's pretty fair. Number 24, we had them. Then they got the Broncos at 23. You can't really blame the Broncos for not having a 10th quarterback on their roster. Carolina Panthers at 22. They're a field goal away from winning that game. That's really tough. They dropped 3. Joey Sly could have just cooked that in. They probably would have went up. Texans move up 3. I mean, cool. The Texans move up 3. They beat the Lions. Come on. They just ranked the Lions at number 29. Yep. They're trash. Also, the Texans just got 2 guys popped for PEDs. So, we'll see if that continues. Los Angeles Chargers, number 20. I feel like they always have the Chargers so high. I don't understand. Like, I understand that, I mean, obviously NFL and ESPN, they love Justin Herbert. They love seeing rookie storylines. Okay, I understand. I like rookie storylines. But it's like they're waiting for this Chargers defense to come out of the box and like spook you and be like, "Oh, we're actually good." They're not. They're not that good. Okay? Chargers should be a little bit lower in my opinion. Now we got San Francisco 49ers at 19. I actually like this because they're moving up. Their win against the Rams was huge. It was really big for them. That is a game that if they want to get back in this playoff mix, they needed to win that. Then we got the Atlanta Falcons at 18. They're looking better and better. I think that the playoffs are too far. They'd have to win out. But damn, I mean, the Falcons, I mean, the thing is they are so close. I mean, they lost that game against the Cowboys, right, where they couldn't get the onside kick. I believe so, right? Yeah, the onside kick. And they lost that game to the Lions on the last play. I mean, oof. That is tragic. Now we got the Patriots at 17. They move up one. The first sentence on this says, Patriots are never going to win pretty this year. That's a fact. The Patriots are not a good football team. That's why. They have them just in front of the Falcons and the Niners, which honestly I'd probably take the Falcons over the Patriots. I really don't think the Patriots are that great. Obviously, they're still in the mix for the AFC, but they've got a tough schedule. Minnesota Vikings at 16. I like this because they really are a middle of the road team. But the thing is they're middle of the road if you look at their whole season. Look at their last 6 games, the amount of points they've scored and the amount that they've allowed, their yards. The Vikings are a very good football team right now. If they can make sure to stay on this trajectory, I think that they're a pretty good team, and they could definitely make it in the wild card. Then we got the Miami Dolphins at number 15. Obviously, they don't get to move up for beating the Jets, but I think they're a little bit better than 15. I think they're a little bit better than 15. Excuse me. Now we got Arizona Cardinals at 14, only dropping 1. I think that's fair. I think the Cardinals are just going through a little bit of a streak here, but Kyler just needs to be more consistent. That's what it comes down to, is Kyler needs to be consistent. Okay, that's all. Cleveland Browns at 13. This team needs to be at like 15. Okay, this team is not good. This team is not good. I'm telling y'all, this team is not good. I don't like them at 13. I don't like that they moved up by beating the Jags by 2 points. Baltimore Ravens ranked 12. Obviously, it's hard to move up and down whenever. I mean, they can't move you down whenever Lamar Jackson gets COVID. But this team is kind of having a tough couple weeks, okay? I'm not sure if this is not the team that we've seen last year. It seems like everyone knows how to bottle up Lamar now. I don't know what the secret is, but everybody's been doing it. Then we got the Las Vegas Raiders dropping 3. I think that you could have honestly dropped them even more. They were at number 8 last week. Everyone was hype on them. They said, the Raiders are going to be really good. But Jesus Christ, that team was embarrassed on national TV. I mean, for Raiders fans, I imagine you probably turned the game off in the second quarter, right? Third quarter. How long did y'all stay? Comment down below. Indianapolis Colts, ranked 10. They don't move down, which is interesting to me, even though they let 40 points get scored on them by the Titans. Obviously, the Titans are a good football team, but I think you could move them down 1. I don't think that they deserve to stay at the 10th spot because they lose. Let's see. Tampa Bay moves down 3. I think that's very fair. Obviously, it's the Chiefs, second best team in the league, in my opinion, but the team above them is the Rams. I'd still like Tampa Bay better than the Rams. I still think Tampa Bay is a better football team than the Los Angeles Rams, for sure. Then we got number 7, the Buffalo Bills. Bills are just chilling, you know. They didn't do anything too crazy this weekend. They beat the Chargers, but it wasn't close, but it wasn't a blowout. They did their jobs. I like that. Buffalo Bills number 7. I'm cool with that. Tennessee Titans jumped from 11 to 6 with their win over the Colts. I think that's well deserved. The Colts are a good football team, but I think that the Colts obviously now have an issue, and that issue is the run stop because they saw Derrick Henry, and people are going to expose that now. Now let's see. Seahawks at number 5. I think this is also one of those things where it's like they got Carlos Dunlap. They got Jamal Adams. Chris Carson is back. DK Metcalf's a stud. Josh Gordon's coming back. This team is looking so strong. Stronger and stronger by the hour, it seems. Crazy. And now we got Green Bay Packers at number 4. Very strong team. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is just so good. And Aaron Jones, are just going to find a way to do it. That's the thing. And Devontae Adams. They're just going to find a way to do it. New Orleans Saints at number 3. They've been handling, even though Drew Brees has been hurt, they've been handling it. Taysom Hill at the helm. But it doesn't matter, really, that Taysom Hill's at the helm. It's really just the running game. I mean, Kamara and obviously Latavius Murray. But they don't have to do much whenever they can run over every single opponent they face. Then they have Steelers at number 2 and Chiefs at number 1, which they've had for the last freaking 10 weeks, 11 weeks, whatever. And it's always been wrong because the Steelers are the best team in the league. And they just need to open their eyes. Okay, it's going to take another Chiefs loss for them to bring them down. But the thing is if the Steelers lose, they probably get bumped down like 5. Swear to God. ESPN just, in NFL, they just love Patrick Mahomes. That's really what it is. Okay, now let's look at some NFL news. So this Sunday and Wednesday, I guess, Chiefs, Steelers, Saints all get playoff berths. All the first 3 teams get playoff berths, which is huge for them. I mean, obviously we knew this was going to come, but Steelers and Chiefs and Saints get it earlier than anyone else, which is great. Now we see, but one of those things, I saw someone talking about it where it's like the worst thing for the Steelers to do right now is to play any more football games. Like Bud Dupree tears his ACL last night, which is really tragic. But, you know, this Steelers team, the more games they play, the worse it's going to get because they're just going to have players get hurt, all these things. A lot of Steelers fans bet they wish they could just start the playoffs right now. Obviously, we talked about Will Fuller, Bradley Roby, PEDs, cheating, 6-game suspensions for both of them. But I know that both of them said that they thought they were taking something and then it was tainted with something else, which sucks if that is true. But I think a lot of the times with those players is that they're taking something that's kind of sus. And, you know, they have to have guys. They have to have people that are looking after them. Like, this is what this is and this is what this is. Because, right? Because, you know, if things are tainted, right? They're tainted. They're coming from a place that is making that substance. Just buy from places that are not, you know, there's got to be a way for them to avoid that. Sometimes I just don't believe. We'll see though. You know, it's very telling if a year later they get another PED suspension or something. Obviously, you don't see it as much in the NFL. They don't crack down as much. I mean, obviously, they're doing a lot of testing, but I feel like they don't crack down as much in the NFL as they do in, like, say, like baseball or something. Okay, and then obviously the biggest news, Josh Gordon will be returning for the final 2 weeks for the Seahawks. Huge, huge, huge. So now let's look at predictions. I don't have a last week's score because I actually tried making a podcast at home. Like I was with my parents and tried making a podcast there. I got about 10, 15 minutes in and I was like, you know, I didn't get to watch a lot of the games because I was with my family and everything. And I was like, you know, I don't want to put out bad content for y'all. That's not the goal. So I got about 10, 15 minutes in and I was like, I don't want to put this out. So that's why I'm glad to be doing this right now. But the thing is, y'all didn't want to see my last week's score anyway. Pretty bad. Okay. So let's start. Let's try to get, I want to get some good scores here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games. Okay. We got 15 games. Only 2 teams are on bye this week. Buccaneers and Panthers. Okay. So we'll start off big. Saints, Falcons. I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think. I think these games are usually pretty good. I'll be taking the Saints, though. I mean, their running game is just really strong. But I could see the Falcons upsetting. I really could. Taysom Hill, if he gets too much pressure, it's possible. Lions, Bears. I'm going to take the Bears. I mean, that would mean that they would sweep with Detroit for the year. But the Lions don't know what they're doing. I mean, they just got a new head coach. I mean, an interim head coach, and they have no clue what's going on. This team is going to tank. Bears will win that one. Colts, Texans. I'm going to take the Colts, even though the Texans could have a decent shot. I like the next one. I have Bengals, Dolphins. Dolphins are going to stomp all over the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Jaguars, Vikings. Vikings, I'll take the Vikings all day. Raiders, Jets. Raiders will get a little bounce back win here. Good for their morale. Browns, Titans. Probably, I guess, the best game of the week other than Rams, Cardinals. Titans are going to win this one thoroughly. I think the Browns are going to get embarrassed. Rams, Cardinals. This is going to be interesting because it's 2 teams that need to bounce back. It'll be interesting. Can Kyler be consistent and, you know, play well against the Rams defense? I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams here. I think they're a better team. Giants, Seahawks. Obviously, I'm going to take the Seahawks because it looks like Colt McCoy is going to be starting. I mean, I'd love to see the Texas boy do something, but we'll see. Eagles, Packers. Patriots, Chargers. This is actually a game I can see the Chargers playing okay in. It's in California, but I'm going to take the Patriots. Broncos, Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs. Bills, Niners will be an exciting game in my opinion, but I'll take the Bills. Washington football team. Steelers. Take the Washington football team. Cowboys, Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. I mean, I took safe picks this week, y'all. I really did, but you know what? I don't see the upsets. I really don't see the upsets. There's no upsets that really excite me. I think the biggest chance of upset is Falcons, for sure, but we'll see. The best matchups: Titans, Browns. I think that's going to be interesting to watch. It's going to be fun to watch Derrick Henry run all over the Browns. I think that's what's going to happen. Rams, Cardinals. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going Cardinals. I like Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray will get it done. There's my upset pick. Okay. I think the Cardinals will get it done. I think that'll be a really good game. Saints, Falcons. This one might be one of the better ones just because those NFC South divisional games are always close, it seems, especially between the Saints and the Falcons. And that is all for this week's podcast. I'm going to have some more videos coming out for y'all. I'll see y'all next week.